Hey, what's up, everybody? We may be looking at brand new United States Mint territory, at least territory that we haven't been familiar with in 2 years. And to better explain what I'm talking about, we are on the United States Mint 2020. That's right, 2020 United States Mint product schedule. I have gone back 2 years to explain exactly what I'm talking about. Now, some of you may be familiar with this. Some of you, this may be brand new territory. So if you are not familiar with this, please stick with me and I'm going to explain exactly what it is that I'm talking about. So in 2020, for the very first time, we seen an American Silver Eagle, at least for the first time that I'm aware of. We seen an American Silver Eagle shortly after its release, because this was released on January the 9th, 2020. And sometime in March of 2020, this went unavailable. I believe it was the first week in March. This American Silver Eagle West Point proof went unavailable, and it was no longer available for purchase, at least for about a month or two. Came back every now and then then eventually I think it came back for a couple of months and then went back unavailable again. But up until this point, if you go back to 2019, 2018, 2017, as far as back as you want to go, I do believe these have been available the entire year, even into the following year, and you could buy as many of them up to, I believe, 99, as many as you want, up to 99, and then you might even be able to go place another order for 99 coins. But in 2020, this was the first that we seen a American Silver Eagle go to remind me status. And people who were hardcore collectors, people who are hardcore collectors of proof American Silver Eagles, West Point proof American Silver Eagles, couldn't understand why they cannot buy the coin that they wanted. So shortly after this, then we came to the silver proof set of 2020. And for those of you who remember, we had this little stipulation on here, this little note from the United States Mint that said the available inventory for this set is 190,960. Additional units may be produced. And this is another one of those, along with the American Silver Eagle and the silver proof set. These are, in my opinion, the United States Mint's bread and butter coins and sets. They usually sell as many of these as you want. If you want to buy 100 of them, you should be able to buy 100 of them. Currently, as of recording this video, this is June of 2022. Currently, you can go back to the 2021 product schedule. I do believe they are still available and you can still order those. However, this was the first time that we've seen this go unavailable. Now, it said that there was 190,960. I end up buying a few of these sets for just that very reason. Normally, I don't get into buying proof sets, silver proof sets, but I did buy a few of these, and the fact that it did come with that Jefferson reverse proof nickel, which I do have a few of those as well. I ended up buying some of these, and these went unavailable pretty quickly, at least at first. And then I believe they were gone for about a month, because remember, the West Point Mint shut down in 2020, in March of 2020. The San Francisco Mint shut down a couple of times, and that's why we were seeing a bunch of unavailabilities. I believe they were short-staffed. They weren't able to staff as many people as once. People had to be spread apart. So it was a very strange time indeed, in my opinion. But this was the very first time that I can remember that we were seeing annual releases be limited, had a product limit. This one here didn't really have a product limit, but it still had a limit, at least a temporary limit, until they were able to produce more sets. So we had that. Then the very first American Silver Eagle that we seen that actually had a product limit. I remember doing a video on this where the United States Mint put a product limit on the San Francisco proof American Silver Eagle at 200 200,000. This had a product limit. Now they also released it in the limited edition silver proof set later in the fall, but this was the very first time. We had a lot of firsts in 2020, and this was the first time that we actually seen a product limit. And this proof American Silver Eagle from San Francisco, I believe this one also was a very quick sellout with a product limit of 200,000. I can't exactly remember going back that far, but I did set up, this was the very first one that I set up on enrollment, and my enrollment got canceled because my credit card, because I received a new credit card in the mail, didn't realize that the one I had on file had expired. So that was indeed my fault. We had that. I believe there was a few other, stragglers, a few other products that went unavailable pretty quickly in 2020. So then we go to 2021, and we all remember, most of us probably remember 2021. 2021 was the year that a lot of products went unavailable really quickly. It wasn't even close. We had the very first, we had the Type 1 proof American Silver Eagle. Like I said, 2020 with the 2020 San Francisco proof American Silver Eagle, that was the very first that had a product limit on any proof American Silver Eagle. Well, in 2021, almost every product had a product limit. And here was the very first in 2021. We had the Type 1 proof American Silver Eagle. Had a product limit of 327,440. And then, of course, they sold a whole lot in the dealer bulk 40 coin trays. We had this product that didn't have a product limit, this 3-coin set, but it went unavailable pretty quickly, and it was going for like $100 on the secondary market. And then we get to the silver proof set, and like I said, silver proof sets, these things are usually available all year long, and this one in 2021 is no exception. It was very different in 2020 when it went unavailable, very unique in 2020 when it went unavailable for a couple of months and then came back and then went unavailable, came back, went unavailable. So that was a very unique situation in my opinion. And here's the 2021 set currently in, like I said, June of 2022, and the 2021 silver proof set is still available. And then in 2021, we also had the Morgan Silver Dollars. Now this is where it's not unique. Special releases from the United States Mint usually does have a limitation. It's the annual products that I'm mostly focused on in this video. But special releases, the Morgan dollars, the Peace dollars, reverse proof coins usually do have some sort of limitations. Of course, the limited edition silver proof set is usually limited to 50,000 of a product limit. Then here we have another 2021. This was, I believe, the first Type 1 that was released in 2021, and that one had a product limit of 300,000, which sold out again, I believe, within about 30 minutes of release. I think it might have been sooner than 30 minutes of release, or I shouldn't say sold out, I should say went to remind me, because I believe it did come back a couple of times after that at 7:30 in the morning Eastern Standard Time. And then we had the San Francisco proof American Silver Eagle, again limited to 200,000 product limit, and this one again went unavailable or to remind me status pretty quickly once again. And then we had the uncirculated or burnished American Silver Eagle in 2021 that had a product limit of 175,000 that also went unavailable within about the first 30 minutes or so, I believe. This one might have taken a little bit longer than 30 minutes. I can't remember exactly. It's hard to remember everything last year that went unavailable and how quickly, but it did go unavailable pretty quickly. And then again, we had the silver reverse proof 2-coin set, the designer edition, and this one actually was available a lot longer than I thought this one actually would have been, but that one had a limit to 125,000. And again, special releases usually do have mintage limits and product limits. And then we had the limited edition silver proof set, which again had a limit of 50,000, which it normally does have that for a product limit. annually. So we had all of that in 2020, all of those American Silver Eagles going from the Type 1 to the Type 2. And then, of course, in 2020, where we had a lot of American Silver Eagles with product limits, either with product limits or just going unavailable just because the United States Mint could not produce those products because of shutdowns. Well, now we get to 2022. And 2022, the very first American Silver Eagle in 2022 is the West Point Proof American Silver Eagle. And this one actually did go unavailable pretty quickly. I believe this one also went unavailable within about a half hour's time, between a half hour to an hour. Even though they did increase the mintage of this, I believe as of recording this video, the mintage or the sales figures of this coin is about 536,000. But when I say we're approaching brand new United States Mint territory, at least territory that we haven't seen in a couple of years, we come to the uncirculated American Silver Eagle, which has now been available for approaching 2 days. This went on sale June 1st, 2022. We are currently in June the 3rd, 2022, and this one is still available. There is still over 18,000 of these available as I record this video. Now, this could be for a number of reasons. This could be because people just are being conservative with their money because of inflation, because of skyrocketing gas prices, skyrocketing food prices. People may be running to the safe haven of cash as they did in 2020, in March of 2020. It could be for a number of reasons, or it could be for the simple fact that people are seeing that the American Silver Eagle proof and uncirculated coins don't appreciate in value like a lot of people might have thought. Prior to 2020, what a lot of people may not know, if you just got into coin collecting or stacking silver and gold, is that proof American Silver Eagles prior to 2020, usually the norm was depreciating in value. And that could be what we could be seeing going forward, is going back to prior to the pandemic and seeing American Silver Eagle numismatic products depreciating in value. And in my opinion, and I've made prior videos about this, why United States Mint products usually depreciate in value, at least a lot of their annual releases. And that's because, again, in my opinion, because they produce too many. I mean, the United States Mint is there for profit. They make money for the Treasury. They're the only part of the United States Mint government that actually makes money, believe it or not. A part of the United States Mint government actually makes money, and the United States Mint is that United States Mint government agency that actually makes money for the United States Treasury Department. But their products on a secondary market, if you're a collector, you're not so worried maybe about products losing value. But if you're an investor, again, in my opinion, this is not financial advice, but if you're an investor, usually you don't invest in United States Mint products because United States Mint products historically loses value on the secondary market. So are we going back to pre-pandemic territory where we will see forever, or at least mostly unlimited availability for American Silver Eagle numismatic products? In 2023, will we see product limits of none and them available for the entire year, maybe even going into the following year? In my opinion, a lot of the reason why we've seen product limits is partially due to, and mostly probably due to, the pandemic. In 2022, it may have a lot to do, and I believe, in my opinion, it has mostly to do with supply chain issues, and even the fact that the United States Mint, by law, I do believe, can only pay a certain amount of money for silver. While there is increased demand at the current time for silver, a lot of other companies are probably willing to pay more money for the silver than which the United States Mint is allowed, again, I do believe, I could be mistaken on that, but I believe the United States Mint has to pay paper price, the spot price for silver, or at least somewhere close to it, which could have a lot to do with the limited production from 2020 and especially from 2021, and maybe a little bit to do in 2022. But going forward, are we going to see all of that change? But regardless, if we're going to see that change or not, we are starting to see where, at least for the uncirculated American Silver Eagle, we're seeing going into 2 days, this one is still available. Now, are we going to also see that with the San Francisco proof American Silver Eagle that is going to be released later on in the summer of 2022? I guess we will find that out when the time comes. Now, this one also is going to have a product limit, but I believe, according to the articles that I have read, that I have made videos on, this one also will have a product limit, but I believe the mintage limit, the limitation overall, when you include the 40 coin bulk trays, I believe the mintage limit on this one is also going to be higher than what the prior
Mintages.
going back to 2017 has been on all of them going back to 2017. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. I appreciate everybody for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll talk to everybody on my next video. Thanks, everyone.